Hey, what is up, everybody? And welcome back to On the Whiteboard with the Great Puckettini. I am the Great Puckettini, and this is basically the second episode of On the Whiteboard with the Great Puckettini. What I'm going to show for you today, is I'm going to show you our best pass play I've ever ran in 15 years of coaching. This was my go-to play if I ever needed a big play of like 5 or more yards, and I felt I needed to throw the ball. This was it. And even today, if I needed a pass play to get that 5 to 7 to 10 yards, I'm looking at this play right here. Okay, so first off, go by the name. This is called. We'll look at our set first. First, we're in our black set, is what we call it, and black would be like a black eye, so we could signal this from the sideline if we wanted to, like black, that would be black eye, and this would be California. And I'm doing my right hand, so that means 82. And all 11 of our players would know that black 82 California. And we could run it in 2 minutes, or we could just run it no huddle all the time, whichever we wanted to do. Now, so in our black set, and some people call it doubles, you have 2 receivers left, 2 right. So now let's look at our where we put them, because remember, we were basically like a wing T offense, and we could go to straight spread 4 or 5 receivers without even substituting anybody in. So this is how we set it up. So our far left receiver, we call him our X, and our far right receiver was our Y. And I know sometimes that's tight end, it's different the way we did it, the way I was taught. So it's X, Y, and then we went A, and then B, and then this guy here was C, okay? So we have X, Y, and then A, B, C. And our quarterback we gave him like a number 1, or he was the Q, We didn't really name him anything. Now, so the play we're running here is 82. Now our 80 series, well, I'll tell you what, let me go back. First off, and talk about each player, what type of player we're looking for. Our X receiver out here is basically like a tight end, and that's where we would put our tight end. Is out here far left, okay? Now, there were some years, or if it was obvious passing situations, I know one year we had a backup quarterback that was a really good receiver, and we would slide him out there because the tight end we had at the time was not a very good receiver. But and a lot of the other years it worked out just fine. But 1 or 2 years it didn't, so you can always adjust, always adjust to your personnel. And then your wide receiver, this is the guy this was the position that was our leading receiver for 3 years in a row, led our area in catches right here, okay? And this would be our wide receiver 1. He's our number 1 wide receiver, okay? Now, if your best receiver is a running back, you can maybe put him out there too, but it always worked out. He was our number 1 receiver, okay? And then we go inside the A. Our A back was kind of like a kind of like a tailback in the I formation. Now with us, we used the old T terminology. We would call him a fullback, but he's like a tailback in the I formation stuff, the way terminology is now. And then our B back, he was kind of like your fullback in the I. He would be, I'm just going to put comma FB. He's your running back that does not catch as good. He's probably not as fast. He probably can't catch as good. Maybe he can catch, but he's not as dynamic as this guy. This guy is probably your best running back, okay? Because he's going to be in the backfield a lot too. The A back is. And then we look at C, and C is basically our second wide receiver. He's our wide receiver 2. And so he would just be that's your best receiver. This is your second best, okay? A lot of times, a lot of people, or the coach I learned this under, his best athlete a lot of times was A back. But you still have it every time when I was a head coach, it worked out just pretty good, okay? Now, so those are kind of the players, the personnel where we put them. So first off, we're going to look at our blocking assignments. Now, 82 tells us that we're going to roll to the right, okay? The 2 tells us to the right. If it's 81, we'd go to the left, and we'd roll a little bit differently to the left. I can talk about that a little bit later. But first off, you got to figure out how you're going to block it, okay? And there was 2 ways that we worked on blocking sprint out passing. The first way we kind of did was turn back blocking. And so like if I'm this tackle here, set up, I'm just turning back almost. And so this tackle will be looking to block this tackle, and he would be turning back, and they're all turning back. But the problem I have with that is this end right here, he's coming hard, and he's unblocked. and you're relying on your running back to block him, which is not good, because this is usually a big, strong dude that can play. He can go, he's a tight end type, you know, and he's a good athlete. And so it does not work good having him unblocked, okay? So the way we started doing is we would shuffle, like a defensive slide in basketball, you know. So if I'm this tackle, I would just shuffle my feet quickly, of course, like I'm in basketball. And so here's how we block it. So we start here. We have to get this guy blocked. He's gonna mess it all up if we don't get him blocked. So our tackle is you want to kind of shuffle and try to get him either head up or on that inside shoulder. Then our running back here, a B back, he's going to take whatever angle he has to get on his outside shoulder. Okay, so he's going to release out this way, and he's going to get on that outside shoulder. We're going to have a double team on this end. We're going to double him. We want two guys on him. We cannot have him messing this play up. Okay, and so we just go down the line. We're shuffling, you know, we're shuffling. We're shuffling through here, trying not to let anybody get through. Okay, now, so once you got everybody blocked up, let's look at our routes. Okay, but I can't enforce enough is you got to get that guy blocked. Now, so we got here, this is our receiver. This is the guy that was, like I say, the player that played this position had two different ones, and they led our area in receptions 3 years in a row. Okay, now, what we're doing is California, so it's comeback. We're running comeback routes. And you know, some people may call this a curl. I would call curl going inside. I could do it later. But comebacks for us, and we worked on it different ways, like go 10, angle in, then come back. But what I got doing is that would take us too long. I didn't have athletes that could just fly down the field and run all these elaborate routes. And this is real simple, but I'm telling you guys, it works like a charm. I'm telling you, keep it simple. Now, he would just run, sometimes we'd run, but a lot of times they would play us inside leverage. They didn't want to give up a slant. So they would play 7-by-2 a lot of the corners that we faced. So they're giving us kind of that outside release. They just don't want us to go inside. And they did it all the time. Sometimes in cover 2, they'd play outside and try to funnel us inside. But I'm showing cover 3 here. So 4-2-5 with cover 3. That corner's, you know, got a third. He's got a third. He's got a third. And the backers, this guy's wanting to go to the flats here. Okay? And he's probably here, maybe there, or he'll go this way when he sees us roll. So we're looking at the cover 3. Okay? So we want to, you know, attack these areas in here. Now, so the snap of the ball, this guy's just running. He's running straight upfield, just 12 yards. So he's going 12. So he's at 7. We're going about 12, and we're coming back to 10. We're angling back towards the sideline. He's going to line up about 5 yards off the sideline. Okay, so he's pretty wide out there. He's fighting. Now, if the ball's on the left hash, we'll adjust that some, you know, and it just depends. But we want to be about, if the ball's in the middle field, we want to be about 5 yards from the sideline. Maybe a little bit more, it's okay. Now, this guy just splits the difference. When the C-back runs out here, he gets between this receiver and that tackle. But he's off the ball. His nose is on the butt of this guy here. This guy's up on the ball. I have him back a little bit. I had to redraw it. But anyway, he's on the ball. This guy's off. So A and C are off. X and Y are on the ball. But C's doing the same thing. Now, he could rotate. He could change his route at times, but most of the time we're running just 12 back to 10 again. So he's going up here. He's going about 12, and he's coming back this way too. Okay, now, and these teams that would play us, they knew this guy was our best receiver a lot of times, and this back is flying out there. So then we could hit this guy some too. But where we had the most success was in the wing T with this play. But this worked as well too, because then we'd hit this guy some. And then that back would maybe stay with him. But I'm telling you, this play right here, this guy is the one that gets open most of the time. Now, and what our quarterback does is he's gonna roll out. Our rule is he's gonna take 3, he's gonna get a little bit of depth. So he's gonna step with that right foot, and he's gonna get a little bit of depth, and then he's gonna go three big steps to the sideline. So he's stepping here, and then he's 3 big steps to the sideline. And while he's doing it, he's finding laces, and he's looking out there, see what this corner's doing. Generally, that corner, he's covered through, so he's wanting to stay deep. And this guy's he's pretty fast, you know, and he's pushed him hard. And we'll show too that we can go 82 fade. We can throw that fade route if he's sitting on us. Okay, and we may start off with that just to back him up a little bit. But we're going 12 back to 10, And when he gets to that third step, then he's gonna decide then, or he can kind of still go downhill and hit either one of them. But whoever he wants to go on the angle towards that receiver, so he wants to be on the angle right there for him and run right at him. His belly button is kind of like it has a video camera in it, and he's right at him, he's running downhill. Now, but I had a quarterback that did not like to run downhill and throw on the run. He would get out here after his 2 steps, he'd set up, and then he'd throw it. And I had another quarterback that he liked to just keep running, and he'd throw it and keep on running. So you could do it either way. And if you see this guy's gonna be covered as he's reading and looking, if that corner's on him pretty tight, he can throw inside this guy. By the time this guy's wide open, we'll go back, look at film, and say, holy moly, he is wide open, because everybody was always zoned in on this guy. But this guy's hard for him to get out there, and he can't get out there a lot of the times. And if he does, a quarterback can always run it too. We've got it blocked up pretty good in here. All right, now on the backside, I'll roll for that. Anytime we're rolling, the receivers on the backside, they're just running slants and posts, okay? So the A guy, a lot of times they play inside leverage here too on this. They're trying to keep us out of that inside. We go about 3 steps and we're wanting to cross all the way. We're just crossing 3 steps, maybe 5, get around those linebackers, not really a set step, we're just getting across, okay? And I don't think we ever threw these guys unless we called it. This guy's going about 7-yard post and he just keeps going. Now, one thing we had called before is this safety might would cheat over or something, or this corner is being lazy when he sees us roll. We get right here, we call 82 backside post. He gets here and we throw a bomb here. We've had Burnham before on that too, and sometimes that pops wide open. But even if that corner, if he kind of mans up and stays with him, it's a jump ball with a big guy. You got a tight end, big strong guy, and you might get a pass interference, or he might can jump up and catch something. Okay, so absolutely wonderful play here. 82 California, like I said, we could run this out of a spread. Was a black 82 California, and everybody knew it. I didn't have to have receiver coaches run. I'd have them using dummy signals, of course, and but we didn't have to. We didn't have to get in a huddle. We could do it no huddle, whatever. Just easy signals. All right, now. The only thing that changes if we go 81, the quarterback does. I probably could make another video about this, but I'll show you real quick. 81, we do a backwards check mark. So if we're coming off of this, we're running our 12 back to 10 here, and the same thing here. He's 12 back to 10. Quarterback, then the back's going to be over here. Once again, he's trying to hook there, and we're doubling here if it's 81. And that quarterback, as soon as he gets it, he's going to turn his back, and he's going to come in an angle this way. And he's going to take 3 steps away. He's going to have his back to the line, but he can be looking too. He takes those 3 steps and then he turns, and then he's coming downhill wherever he's throwing. So, if he's throwing here, he wants to get to where his belly button's facing his receiver. All right, and so, but it's a different roll. You actually go. It's like at that angle right there. I can't remember, but what we used to call that. But he would just step and turn, take 3 big steps, and then turn and 2 steps towards that receiver, and he's throwing. Okay? And 82, 81 California were both great plays. And you can run this out of different sets. A lot of times we would go trips, and you could run all 3 of them were running California routes. And that backside guy's running a post. And almost always it's man-to-man back there, and you can throw that backside and really burn them pretty good. But so a great play here. If you run a spread, I strongly advise you to put this play in. It's a great play. It sounds really simple, and it is simple. But and another thing too, if we set corner right and that back stays with us, we can turn this into like what I used to call a flag, a post corner. But we would just go about 7 yards and then flag it, okay? And try to get behind that corner. If he's staying tight on a receiver, we could hit that there, okay? So that's one alternative there you could make. If you see him, if that back stays in front of him, corner's tight, you could start flagging that, okay? So there's several alternatives you could do to that. And also, like I said, if your quarterback can run, he can just keep it and run and get a lot of yards too. I just never had a quarterback that was that fast that could do that. But anyway, that's all I got, guys. Thank you for coming watch this video. Please hit the like and share button, and come back and check us out. This is episode 2. Tomorrow I'll try to put another one up, try to do another running play like a trap, and we'll try to just keep building. But this is, I'm telling you guys, this is the best play. 3 years in a row, I had the leading receiver in our area in catches, and everybody knew what it was doing a lot of times, that you couldn't stop it. But we did run it out of the wing tee too. Similar but a little different. So I could show that sometime. If you're interested, drop me a comment, and I'd be happy to draw that one tomorrow if you want to. Or I could do a difference. I'm showing a 4-2-5 defense, and that's what we saw a lot of. We see these 3-man lines, 5 guys in here, we're gonna run it, you know. So we saw a lot of 4-man fronts. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Come on back and check out On the Whiteboard with a Great Puckettini. We'll see y'all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.